Hey guys, how is everyone doing? I hope you're doing well. This is my latest project. I thought I'd share it with you guys once I got done. This saw belongs to one of our subscribers, a fella down south. You can see Mac 1010 automatic. Said he had bought the saw about 35 years ago, used it to cut some firewood on his property to sell. Cool thing about this one is it's a bow saw. He sent me his chain, which still looked pretty good and was sharp, but we counted our drivers and matched it up, and we've got him a new chain to go back with the saw. Said he'd had it to a friend maybe a year or so ago, and they'd got it running. When he picked it up, it would only run on a prime. Ended up just being a simple fix, just a kink and a fuel line they had made for it. So what we've done with this saw, we tore it down, done some port work, put a new set of crank seals in it. His rings were still good. Saw still has really strong compression for a 1010, to be honest with you. And he wanted the electronic ignition chip put in it, which is what we done. And we put him a new fuel line in the tank. And what we've got is one strong little Mac 1010 now. I tried it in 3 different pieces of wood out there. All of it's hardwood, some of it a little harder than the other, but as you can see, it'll gnaw and tear right through anything you set it in. I kind of wish it had a set of dogs on it. I'd really like to dog it into something just to hear that Mac pull that we all know about. And I'll tell you, when you get the saw, if you're watching, I'd recommend some earmuffs or earplugs because this thing is loud. But with that said, old saw's running good. We got the tune up on it pretty good. I'm going to leave it a little rich when you get the saw. If you want to lean it out a little more, that's up to you. But me personally, I'd probably just leave it where it's at. It seems to like it, but I don't know how the air is going to be down there closer to sea level. You may have to lean it out or richen it up a little more. I don't know. But anyway, with that said, I'm going to throw together a little video here of the port work I done to the saw, show you a little bit before and after. And we also put a kill switch in the saw. His had either been broken out or had fell out sometime or another. And we put just a little more modern kill switch in it. It works great, and it kind of looks like it should have been there anyway. But with that said, thank you guys for watching. Any questions, send me an email. Any questions about work, shoot me an email. If it's something that I can do or I can help you out with, just like I said, shoot me an email and I'll do you right by it. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. Hey guys, I'm about to do a little port work on this Mac 1010 cylinder. It does belong to a subscriber. Probably tell you more about the saw once I get it done, but I just wanted to give you a look at the weird design on these. If you've not seen them, I do have a video showing them where I ported my Pro Mac 1010. Hopefully you can see down in there, these have some of the weirdest transfer ports you will see on a saw. The other side looks exactly the same. They're kind of like finger ports, but they're kind of twisted like a spiral, if it makes any sense. And there's not really a whole heck of a lot you can do with them because this saw does not have pinned piston rings. But what I like to do is widen them a little at the bottom and as far up as we can, and lower them just a little bit. As far as the exhaust port, it does have a bridge in it. You cannot remove that unless you can find a way to pin the piston. I'm just not capable of doing that, but what we do is we do widen this a little bit on each side, and we open up the mouth of it, and we will change the timing just a little bit. There's no way to modify squish on this, so you only want to move your timing a couple degrees on it at most. And as far as the intake port on these, they are super wide from the get-go. There's not a whole lot you can do with them, and I'll urge you, McCulloch had the timing right on these. You're welcome to put your degree wheel on it. You're going to find a timing opening on the The intake side's somewhere between 55 and 60 degrees. About every one I've done is around 55 degrees. Your larger saws, like your 55 and your 700, they do open a little bit later, but on this, due to how wide the port is, and I guess to do with the transfer port design, you cannot alter that intake timing. If you do, you're going to get a saw that's floody, hard to start, and will spit back through the carburetor. And I'm talking just moving at a couple degrees. You could probably go in, just do a little bit of a cleanup on it, but if you looked at one of these ports, they look pretty dang good anyway. And in my opinion, it's best just to match your spacer and your tank and your cylinder block together and leave it alone. But anyway, with that said, I'll give you a look at some of this port work when I'm finished with it. Guys, I've got what work I'm going to do to the saw done. I'm going to give you a look at just what all I have done to it. Try to start with the exhaust port, and hopefully the camera will pick up the polish on it and the finish and exactly what I've done. I'm going to loop this right after showing you what it looked like in the beginning. The only port we changed the timing on was the exhaust port, and it's changed very minimally. I'll stress that on these 1010s. Just don't try to go crazy. If you think you're going to go in and set your exhaust open at 100 or even close to 100, you're going to have a screamer, but when you set that thing into some hard wood with a good aggressive chain, you're going to wish you hadn't. So move it a couple degrees from stock and leave it be, unless you're just trying to make an all-out race saw, which we're not doing here. Exhaust port, hopefully the camera will pick up the polish and the finish on that. We open those up. They're kind of like I guess a cone or trumpet, whatever you want to call it. If you followed any of my porting, you'll see that I like to do that. Maybe try to give you a look at the inside. Just not got my lighting right here today, guys. Let me grab a light. I've got you under a video light, but for some reason this cylinder is so small, we're just not having any luck. Try that. There you go. Get a look at our finish on those exhaust ports. They are widened. Timing is changed. Get a really nice polish on them. Transfer ports, you're welcome to go back and look at the Pro Mac 1010 we done. See, I've done about the same design. It's just what I've found works. They are finger ports to begin with, so what we've got now is a little longer, a little larger finger port. I've moved them down on the ones that I could. I don't know, probably 3/4 of an inch, and then there's those outer ones, the really short one. I don't know if you can see them. Just do what you can. Just drop them down a little bit. It'll improve flow. I was able to get in there with, I'm wanting to say I used a 1/4 inch cartridge roll and was able to open those up quite a bit. So I'm thinking this saw here will probably actually run a little better than mine, just because of being able to get into the transfers a little better. Probably be the best running one I've done, truth be told. That was the plan. The intake port, there was a little bit of plating in it. I've stressed before not to mess with the timing on these. Don't go in and try to over widen it. You can go in and bump the sides a little, clean it up. This one actually had a little bit of plating. We cleaned that up, and then we went in and left a really nice finish on it. As you can see, it is a super wide port, and I've not widened it really in at all. I just went in. There's a little bit of plating hanging over. We went in and cleaned that up and just straightened it all up. The cartridge roll. And I have put the phenolic spacer on it and the tank. I did do a little work to the tank as well. Basically, I wanted it if he has somebody, or if he pulls the carb off to put a kid on it at any time, I'd like somebody to say, hey, there's some pretty nice support work there. And you should take pride in what you do. If you're just starting out and you butcher something up, don't worry about it. Just try again. I'm not the world's best at it, nowhere near it. Nor do I build the best running saws, but I just do my best. I'm gonna show you the rest of the cleanup I done on these 1010s, and 9 times out of 10 when you tear them down, this will just be all cruddy and crusty and sometimes pitted. I went in, spent a lot of time, cleaned that back up, put a real nice finish on it, because that is part of getting flow up into your transfers. You want a good clean crankcase, and if it just looks like crap and all pitty and crusty, it could even lead to fuel and oil puddle up and just not be a very good situation. Piston design on these is another I don't really like. It's not pinned. I wish it was. I did see on YouTube some dude was brave enough to go in and make his own pins, but I just kind of have my doubts about that lasting. But maybe if you took it to a race shop or something and had them done. But we did go in and open these up. I put a chamfer around the whole outside of the piston. We polished up the crown of our piston. And just got it ready to go back together. I'm going to reuse his rings because they still had a good seat. And I have just zapped the ball hone in and out of the cylinder a few times. We spent quite a bit of time chamfering the ports, so hopefully the next clip you guys see will be of this thing running, and let's just hope that it runs well and get this man a nice running saw back to him. Alright, we are putting brand new seals in this. I don't know if I'd mention that either. Just something you should do. They're not the cheapest thing in the world unless you just measure them and get some cheap seals. These are about going to cost you a little over 30 bucks after tax, but a good new set of seals is money well spent. Alright guys, we're about to button this man's saw up. I'm not sure how I'll do this video, if I just show a bunch of stills or what, but got that chip mounted right where, let's see, we'll just zoom in. Right in there where his condenser used to lay, and I do have his points and condenser laying here. I'm going to ship back with the saw. The way that works is that chip has a ground. You can either run around and ground it on your coil, or in this case I just grounded it to the screw that goes through the chip. And then your wire that would have went to your points goes to the positive side of the chip. And some saws will actually wire backwards because they have a positive ground. And if you're using this chip, you want to get it close to the flywheel.